at the office. Cleveland's home for sports talk that never clocks out. From the latest headlines to heated debates, we're diving into everything sports. It's your hosts, Noah and Matt.
Cleveland! Welcome to The Office, the show where we talk all things sports. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my co-host, Matt. You can join us at The Office, too. Leave us a comment on YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever you're watching, or call and text the show. It's down below here now. I can't point up here. I got to get used to pointing down here. Matt, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. Excited as always to be here. Want to say the new setup looks awesome.
I want to shout out Eric. He did a fantastic job putting this together. I don't know if Eric's watching. I know he's meal prepping right now, but shout out to you, Eric, for all the extra efforts and stuff you put in the show. Me, Matt, John, might not always say it, but we truly do appreciate it. Real quick, we got a very fun, fantastic show planned for all of you on a day early here on a Sunday night. We're going to talk that crazy trade that broke last night. We're going to talk about Shedeur Sanders to the Browns. That'll be after our ad break. And then we have a couple quick hits to mix with the Luka trade stuff, which we're going to get into here in a second. The Myles Garrett is not being traded, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have some all-stars. But Matt, let's go quick because me, John, and Eric are going to break it down on Wednesday a little bit more. There was actually another trade in the NBA that got announced right before we went live, which only knows that it's going to get crazier and crazier knowing the NBA. The Lakers traded for who? Matt, what was your reaction last night when you saw the Lakers have Luka Doncic on their team? What was your reaction, man?
So my first, experience, my first exposure to this trade was from a sports meme account that I follow on Instagram.
Oh, God. Were you asleep last night when it broke?
I was asleep, woke up to, go to the bathroom, check my phone real quick, and I'm like, oh,
Word.
Okay, people are throwing memes around. So while I'm, trying to fall back asleep, I start scrolling on X. I'm like, what? Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? This is real? No, this isn't real. And I had to check like 4 different sites, 3 different NBA insiders, and I was like, all right, this is real. Oh my God. What?
I was chilling on the couch. My girlfriend just got home from working a late brewery shift. She went over her shift like an hour and a half. Matt, you can attest to the restaurant industry and how that happens sometimes. And I pop up off the couch. My roommate's still awake. Shout out to Sean. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And Bree thought like someone died. She was like, are you okay? Is everything good? And I was like, Deshaun, Luka's on the Lakers and AD is now a Maverick? Dude, it's just crazy. The instant shock and reaction. It's got to be one of the biggest trades of all time, I feel like. Regardless of what's happening, regardless if one side wins, one side doesn't. Obviously, everybody thinks the Lakers fleeced the Mavericks right now, but I'm really curious to see how this whole thing plays out. I want to know how the Lakers get so damn lucky to get into some of these trades and some of these situations. Because if you were telling me we could have got Luka and only given up 1 first-round pick, 2 role players, and a star player, even me, a guy who says the Cavs should not break up the core, would have to start scratching my head and saying, who are we going to ship out at this point, man? I don't know.
I think the craziest part to me is all like, I always, when big sports stories like this break, the fun part to me is all those little details that, fall through like the following day in the next couple hours or whatever.
Right.
And the amount of like small details about this trade that are just slowly coming out are like, what, how did this trade materialize? Like you have LeBron had no idea, which, yeah, he's a player, but he's also the GM,
Amen.
Luka reportedly had no clue it was coming. They only talked to the Lakers about trading Luka. Like a whole bunch of wild things that are just, from being a sports fan my entire life, make no sense from what I've seen in the past.
It's absolutely insane. And we could talk about it ad nauseum here on our Sunday night, typically Monday, but there's a little little WWE moment happening in Cleveland, so we had to preempt and move to Sunday. We could talk about it all day as me and Matt, but we're going to break it down as the NBA trade deadline continues to move. Like I said, there was a trade involving the Kings, the Spurs, and I believe the Bulls right before we got on here, and we're talking about big name players like De'Aaron Fox, Zach LaVine being involved in that trade. Yeah, I'm sorry. You should go look at that after this. So we're gonna table this conversation until Wednesday as we hear more things come out and can really, take a deep breath, take this whole thing in, and see what really happens. Matt, we're not done with basketball yet, though, because the Cleveland Cavaliers have not one, not two, but 3 All-Stars. So I want to just give some shout out real quick to our 3 All-Stars. Shout out Darius Garland, 2nd time for him. Shout out Donovan Mitchell, 6th time for him, and he's a starter, of course. And Evan Mobley, the young GOAT, Mr. Unicorn, getting his first All-Star nod. Matt, what was your reaction when the All-Star team officially finally came out Thursday night of last week? Well, this week, I guess, depending on how you count your Sundays in a week. What were your reactions, man?
I think some Clevelanders might disagree with me, but I think in terms of the Cavs that are on that team, that's exactly how it should have gone and who should be going.
I kind of wish Jared Allen made a stride there too. I know we can't, have our cake and eat it too, or whatever expression you want to use, but I think he earned the right to be an all-star this year, and to have all 4 of them there would have been absolutely insane and really, unusual and not typical in terms of, just being a team sending 4 all-stars. But hey, I think that guy deserved it too. Unfortunately, he didn't get it, but I'm really excited to see these 3 shine over in the Bay. Our arch nemesis Golden State rival, or Golden State Warriors, rivals home. Sorry. I'm really excited for that. What about you, man?
No, I'm really excited. And, the whole Cleveland against the world, we never get national media recognition. So it's always cool to see, 3 Cleveland stars being put onto a national stage and being shown off by a league,
And, Donovan already kind of leaked this out after the game that they announced. It was the Thursday night game. When they announced all of our all-stars that the 3 were going to be doing the skills competition together, like Darius, Jared, and Evan did when the all-star game was in Cleveland and they won. And now we're adding Spider into the equation, and I think we're gonna bring home some awards for the land from this event. And I'm really, really excited to see so. I'm gonna watch the all-star game. I don't typically watch the all-star game. We've talked about it before. I've written an article about how we all think it's boring, but when you have 3 players from your team, you gotta dive into All-Star Weekend. You know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's one of those things that's super easy to hate on if you have no ties to it, but if you have ties, god damn it, it's awesome.
Amen, brother. Listen, we're jumping all around. We got a lot of things going on, but real quick, we want to shout out the sponsor of the channel, D&D Meadery. Derek and Dominic, 2 brothers from Northeast Ohio, come together to make some fantastic mead. It is a honey wine for those who don't know. And as John said on the last episode, it's delicious, man. He killed the whole bottle the first night I dropped it off. You can go to D&D Meadery. It's ddmeadery.org and use the code @the-office-CLE for 5% off today. Order 2 bottles. You get you a little shot glass with the logo on it. Come on, man. It's easy. It's good. It goes down nice. It's a fantastic drink. If you like wine, if you like sweet alcohol at all, you're going to love this. I'm a beer drinker and I love this. Matt, I know you haven't got a chance to try it yet. Get you your bottle soon. Very excited about this.
I'm excited to try it. I've been wanting it.
With that being said, I feel like we're running through it right now. Myles Garrett is not being traded. This was broken last week, earlier this week, however you want to phrase it. Andrew Berry basically all but said it, not 1, not 2, but not 3, not even 4 first-round picks would move him off this team. What were your reactions when you heard this? How do you feel about it, Matt? I know we were kind of thinking, oh boy, is this going to be a full-blown rebuild? We've talked about it before on the channel. Go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
First initial reaction was, yeah, okay, obviously he's going to get up to the podium and say, I'm not trading our superstar cornerstone face of the franchise. Obviously, he's got to say that. Then I start thinking about it a little more, about the kind of person Myles Garrett's been since he's been in Cleveland, kind of the way the front office has viewed him, or at least the way they've shown they view him and his talent. And it made me think a lot about what Miles said earlier about how he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. He needs to see a clear cut plan moving forward. You know, he needs to see the win now plan and he needs to agree with it. So to me, you know, falling down the slightly mentally unstable Cleveland sports fan rabbit hole that we all do at
Right.
times, I started to think, okay, so they've sat down, they've had meetings, and I think we're about to talk about it a lot more here in a little bit, but they've settled on a win now plan that they like and that they've all bought into. They think they found their guy to throw the ball. They think they have an off-season aggressive approach that they're going to work. And they can confidently sit up there and say, yeah, Myles doesn't want to go anywhere. We don't want him to go anywhere. Cleveland till he retires. And I mean, I believe Andrew Berry even said that a little later on in the press conference. Like, yeah, at some point in the next couple of years, we expect to be working on a third extension with him. Like,
Yeah, that's what I think this whole signing really signaled to me, is that an extension is coming sooner rather than later. I think they've had, like you said, these conversations of where they're going, whether it be Shedeur Sanders, we'll talk about that after the ad break, or what have you, really. I think Myles Garrett's confident in where this team's going. I think we've seen plenty of signs, regardless if you want to be pessimistic about his play calling or not, like Matt, that this team still believes in Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, and their vision for this team and the scheme that they've put together. I'm happy about this. It gives me the biggest sigh of relief, like it gave you that sigh of relief when I was saying it. I know you were acting it up for the video viewers out there, but I think that was how all of us Browns fans felt when Andrew Berry got up to the podium and was basically like, nah, don't even try to call me. It's just not happening. So I'm really happy about that. I don't want to beat a dead horse with Myles. Is there anything else that you really picked up with this situation? Yeah, me either. I'm just really excited. I wouldn't be surprised if we would hear a contract extension even before the start of this coming up season. Throwing that one out there.
It's a little bit of a stretch, I think, but I could see it maybe.
We'll have to wait and see, Matt. Listen, we are hanging out here at the office, enjoying our time. We're going to cut to ad break. When we come back, we're going to talk about all of the Shedeur Sanders rumors with the Cleveland Browns, how Matt's feeling about it, how I'm feeling about it. You're listening to At the Office, a Cleveland sports show. We'll be back after these commercial messages. And we are back at the office, hanging out, talking about all things sports. Listen, don't forget to hit the subscribe button or press the download button. It helps us grow the show a ton. Drop us a comment, whether you're listening to the live or not, because it really, we like to interact with the people who view and support our show. I try to respond to all the comments, whether it be on TikTok, X, Instagram, wherever. We have all of our socials. You can see them below. And, shout out real quick. Matt got his damn mug and he doesn't have it ready for the show. Check out the merch shop. We have mugs, we have stickers, we have t-shirts, we have hats, we have beanies, you name it, we got it. We got pint glasses. Check out the At the Office shop for all of your merchandise needs. Lastly, shout out Fans First Sports Network for all they do in supporting us. Really appreciate it. Wouldn't be here without them. Matt, Shedeur Sanders, the Cleveland Browns, rumors going crazy. What do you think about everything? Obviously, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski sat down with him at the Senior Bowl. He didn't participate in the Senior Bowl, but he was at the Senior Bowl because teams told him not to participate in the Senior Bowl. Andrew Berry said, that wasn't us. What are your thoughts on everything Shedeur Sanders and Cleveland Browns as of today, February 2nd at 9:19 p.m.?
Off the rip, first thing I think, where there's smoke, there's fire. I would be willing to put money at this point on Shedeur Sanders. If he doesn't go number 1, he'll be going number 2 overall. The way these media rumors have been flying and, the way everything's been trending, it just feels like one of those situations where, yeah, it's all a rumor right now, in air quotes for those of you who aren't watching. But it's, it feels like a very real thing to me at this point, if that kind of makes sense to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of connections here. The first thing I want to point out is this tweet from Zach Jackson at Akron Jackson, as you'd expect, because it's the reason he's here. Whenever the quarterbacks go, wherever the quarterbacks go during the Senior Bowl practice, Kevin Stefanski is never more than 10 yards behind him. I think that tells you about some of the mindset. Yes, he was there to help with coaching the quarterbacks and that kind of thing as well. But the mind state of this team is we're doing our due diligence. As me and you have sat on the show multiple times and said, even though the popular opinion is to not lean into one of these quarterbacks and to just go Abdul or Travis Hunter, they're going to do their due diligence. And yeah, I agree with you. When there's smoke, there's fire when it comes to this situation, especially the smoke with the new QB coach that we've promoted to quarterback. Matt, I'm going to have you read this post real quick if you can.
So this is a tweet from Brown's Film Breakdown. Lastly, I want to share this is a lot. All right, here we go. Lastly, I want to share a little blurb that the BFB founding member, Philly, shared with us in the Slack channel today. It's about the Browns' latest coaching move, Bill Musgrave, and some connective tissue he has with Deion Sanders.
Matt, I'm going to pause you for a second. Deion, if you haven't seen the clip already, goes on to talk about being in the Super Bowl and getting Bill Musgrave into the game. That's what this big chunk of text for our viewing listeners, if that makes sense, says here. Matt, you could go down to the bottom part.
So after that excerpt, it skips down to thinking about Stefanski's connection to Pat Schumer, Sanders offensive coordinator at Colorado, and now this Musgrave history. You can't help but tilt your head and squint your eyes when you consider Musgrave's elevation to quarterback coach earlier this week. All of it matters with the potential for how all of this shapes up for getting the buy-in for Shedeur in Cleveland, should they prefer.
There is a lot of roots and behind the scenes stuff in terms of the coaches we brought in and how they fit and how they could be coaches that make sense for Shedeur in Cleveland. I agree with you. Where there's smoke, there's fire, man. And there's a lot of smoke with this. But this is also the season of smoke and mirrors when it comes to GMs and saying this and doing this to make it look like that. Musgrave was on this coaching staff prior to any of this Shedeur anything, right? So it could be as simple as we think he has the ability to develop a good quarterback. We're going to promote him because we're going to bring a young quarterback in sooner rather than later. What are your thoughts about all these behind the scenes ties and everything that's going on in terms of Shedeur and the Browns?
I would be really shocked if a football organization makes moves like that based on one guy. Like they're not going to make a, whole coaching tree shift just for one quarterback they're considering drafting. That might play a role in it, absolutely, and be like, hey, if this is the direction we do go, this connection could be solid. But I mean, there's no guarantee that Shedeur is the pick. And I mean, I'm obviously not wishing it, but Shedeur could wake up tomorrow and, break his ankle doing nothing. Like, there's a million different things that could happen. You can't bank on 3 months from now we have Shedeur. I think it might have played a role, but I think more than that, it's a confidence in the coach's ability, period.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's what most of this is. It's the same thing with Tommy Rees. We are making the Jalen Milroe connection right away. Milroe had a horrible Senior Bowl. His hands are about the size of a fifth grader's, and he has slid from, mid-second, might jump into the first if he has a good combine, to be a day 3 pick, it seems, already, depending on what happens with him again, combine and pro day, of course. But you could make these types of connections in terms of any coach, any player, any tree, anything like this, because at the end of the day, coaching in football is a fraternity in a way, and all of these guys know each other and have a connection with each other in some way, some form. Now, do I think Andrew Berry might be leaning into the fact that, oh, well, Shedeur and we have Musgrave and, we have the Pat Shurmur connection, as we kind of talked about when we pulled up that tweet? 100%, he should do everything he can to get the most value out of that second overall pick. They're not sold on Shedeur and can trade back to 5 and still end up with one of the top 3 talents. I think this is all great. Where we stand right now, Matt, what do you think they do? What do you think the pick at number 2 is with all the information you know so far?
If I were, if I had the power to make the selection for Cleveland, I would be picking Abdul Carter. However, I do want to reiterate what we've been saying for probably a month now. If that front office in Berea thinks that they have found their guy, Shedeur, Cam, somebody else, they have to go get it.
So you didn't name a pick. You said a thought process that we've repeated. You are not you with your own separate opinion. With everything that you know as a guy outside of the walls in Berea, you are Andrew Berry sitting in the chair at draft night. What pick is going in at number 2?
Abdul Carter.
You think they're going Abdul Carter? Right. This hesitation's the problem here, right?
Because I don't know what they're going to do.
I think they've done a good job of keeping the cards close, right? But I do think, man, I don't know. I want to say, I'm putting you on the spot and giving you shit for it, and then I put myself on the spot, and I'm like, I get what he's doing now. I would lean Shedeur only because of some of these connections and what's kind of going on here. But that's, granted, the Titans don't take him. It's too early to tell, right? I guess that's where we're at. But I think if they had it their way, they would probably be leaning Shedeur right now. And that's just me with all the connections and everything else going on.
Yeah, I mean, like we kind of both realized there in the moment, I honestly have, I could see them doing about 4 different things here. And one of those includes completely trading out of this year's first round. It's Cleveland. I have no idea what's going to happen.
We will continue to cover, wait and see. We'll probably get some connection with Cam Ward next week that we'll have to talk about. But I think this is all interesting. I think there is definitely some smoke there in terms of Shedeur and him maybe making sense in the Browns' eyes on the Cleveland Browns in 2025. But we'll see, Matt. Final thoughts. Hot takes. Where are you at? How are you feeling? What's your random thought or hot take? My boy, my brother, Matt.
So this is kind of more of a random thought and a little bit longer than we like to keep those. But in line with the Shedeur Sanders topic we've had today, I couldn't help but think about, Shedeur Sanders, great athlete, no denying that. Has a very vocal father figure in his life, especially in the sports world, right? And what happened to Cleveland football the last time a father figure got vocal for one of our stars? It tore apart the best roster we've had as Browns fans in our lifetime. That started it. That was the start of the downfall. That tweet of the low light tape, that was the start.
Some might say he's referring to Odell and Baker and the drama that was surrounded there. And obviously Odell ended up getting cut and then Baker traded later on. I get your hesitation. I don't think that matters as much because Deion Sanders is an actual, former football player. And I think he gets a lot of flack from a lot of different people, but I do think his business mind and his heart is in the best place possible for his son. So I don't think that would be actually a bad thing for Cleveland, considering some of the buffoonery we have seen in this city in terms of our sports teams, right? My final thought, my hot take is I've been toying around with a couple different ones, but I'm gonna shoot a shot at a league today because, we talked about it on this show. Hell, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, the Guardians announced new jerseys, new hats, new uniforms for the 2025 MLB season. Where are they? You can't buy them anywhere still. It is still all the same stuff from last year. That's fine. Those jerseys look good. They don't look out of place. But how are you going to announce this whole brand update with the sick blue jersey with the C on the chest and the red piping on the jersey sleeves, this, that, and the third, and then just go quiet for all of the winter? You missed the holidays. You missed Thanksgiving. You missed Christmas. You missed Black Friday. I'm throwing my shot at the MLB because I feel like they do the branding and the merchandise the worst out of the 3 big leagues in America. Hell, I don't know much about hockey in terms of like their branding and their merchandise, but I know that the Cleveland Monsters have a full-blown rebrand store and you can order it online as soon as it came out. Do better, MLB. Do better. That's my hot take.
Well, allow me to raise you one on that. And your hot take should be directed at Fanatics, more than likely, not the MLB. Fanatics sucks, and they have the MLB contract right now.
Yeah, but a lot... I agree and I disagree, right? Because, like, this hat, I got it on Fanatics. It's a national championship Ohio State hat. That happened 2 weeks ago. Sure, it's GV artwork, whatever. But they consistently have the new merch and new stuff up right away. I don't know what it is about the MLB. If it's Fanatics and they don't want to do it, the MLB is being lazy about pushing for it to go. Nike doesn't want to send the blank jerseys to Fanatics to press. Whatever it may be, whatever group of people it is, do better. That's the point here. If it's not the MLB and it's Fanatics, Fanatics do better. If it's not Fanatics and it's Nike, Nike do better. Just do better, period. How about that? Is that better for you with my hot take?
Noah wants his jersey.
I'm not even going to buy one. I have so many Guardians jerseys as it is. I don't need one right now, but I just think it's stupid branding and marketing. And as a marketing guy, what the hell are we doing? Why are you laughing so much, Matt?
You're this hot over a jersey you don't even want to buy.
Yeah, I want to see them do better, dude. Is that such a bad thing?
No, it's just funny to me. You typically don't get this hot on the show. And it's over a jersey you don't even want to order.
No, I'm just getting in my take, man. I just think they could do better. That's simply it. Matt, you got anything else you want to say to the people before we wrap this thing and take it home?
Somebody
No, you're good.
Noah's jersey. God damn.
I don't even want the jersey. I just want the MLB to be a successful league and do what the other 2 leagues are doing. Other 3 leagues, for that matter. The NHL. I know I use the Monsters and AHL team as a reference here, but damn it, do better. This has been another episode of At the Office, a Cleveland sports show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the download button. Check us out on all social medias. One last thing before we get out of here and I tell y'all peace. It's the last day to enter the Donovan Mitchell jersey giveaway. We are picking a winner tomorrow. Go out, follow us on X, YouTube, Instagram. Check us out. And until next time, Cleveland, it's been your boy Noah with my co-host Matt. Have a great night. Cleveland, stay up. Peace.